Welcome to the Food Club show. We're at the Nottingham Street Food Club, and today I'm going to be chatting to Commonwealth medalist and Team GB gymnast Hamish. Now, he's studying at the University of Illinois in America. He's also competing for their college gymnastics team in the NCAAs. We're going to order some food from the Secret Burger Club. I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's eat. Go for the special, go for the dough back. Yeah? Yep, we'll go for the dough back. Okay, mate, can we get 2 dough backs? Do you want any fries?
No, I'll be alright.
Alright, we'll just get 2 dough backs please today, mate. Burgers? Yeah, please, man. Tell me about the American food. How you find that? When I went over there, it was like, everything was like coated in sugar.
Yeah, there's so much stuff. There's every food that you can possibly imagine. Like, I remember walking to Walmart the other day, they've got Sour Patch cereal. You know, Sour Patch Kids?
Is Walmart like, is it like Woolworths or what?
It's like Asda.
Oh, okay, right.
They've just got everything in there. Yeah. They had Sour Patch Kids cereal. I don't even know if they were the sweets.
But is everything just like a lot of sugar and a lot of like...
Yeah, it tastes good.
They say you get like a large is like an extra large.
Yeah, the portions are ridiculous.
What are you eating out there, like just day to day? Are you cooking for yourself? And...
So we have Varsity, which is like an athlete dining room.
Like a dining room.
It's near the stadium. It's like maybe 10 minutes from me. But all the boys have cars and we go and just drive and eat food there, take boxes back.
Is it like for athletes and stuff? Is it good?
It's good stuff. It's like, yeah, it's good stuff. Like lots of healthy options. Yeah. But otherwise, we could cook. Yeah. Like on the weekends, it's not open, so we cook for ourselves.
Well, you do a bit of cooking. You've done a bit of cooking at my place.
Not bad. Salmon, chicken, just the basics, and pasta.
Oh, that salmon in the microwave. Do my head in. I used to do my head in, man. But now you're back. Are you happy that you're home?
It's been good to see everyone.
It's been a long time, mate.
8.5 months.
It's flew by, but it's been a long time. I bet your mum and dad were buzzing to see you.
I feel like, on one hand, honestly, it's been 2 weeks.
Really?
And on the other hand, it's been like, I look back and think how much I've actually packed into those 8 months. And it feels like it's been years, like I've been there forever.
Yeah, because you really jumped in at the deep end. Like, you didn't have much time to adjust, really, did you?
So I flew in on the Friday, the 10th, I think it was, of January.
Right.
And I got in at like midnight. So went to bed straight away, watched the boys compete their first comp, had Sunday to relax, and then my lesson started on Monday. My 9 o'clock meeting to sort out my schedule, my lesson started at 10, and I had 5 minutes to go. Wow. I remember the guy just going, yep, you got 5 minutes, chemistry blocks like down the road, and I was there, and I was at university.
Do you looking back now, do you think that was actually great? Because you like, you just had to go with it. Like.
It forced me to like, make sure I had everything planned out. Like getting up early for breakfast, for weights, for school. Like if I missed a lecture, it was like on me. I got up late.
Do you like that? Do you like that kind of like?
It's good to have that structure.
Having that structure and that routine.
Because like you can finish like classes with, me and Clay do a lot of the same subjects.
Clay's the guy that you live
Australia.
with?
Yeah, well, I'm not living with him, but he's with some of the older boys on the team. But like we'd finish lectures at 10 to 1, practice, training is at 1, and we just like basically have to run across campus to get in for our 1 o'clock meeting, then start session.
Wow. So that's how you start your training. Much, you have a meeting.
Yeah, we all sit in the locker room, and basically
just for a normal training.
Yeah, just like maybe 10 minutes, might be 5 minutes, might be 20. Okay. But on Tuesdays we have like a takeaway Tuesday where Justin or one of the coaches puts like a quote into the group chat.
Right.
And it will be about sport and success. And
do you all follow the same kind of training program?
Yeah, pretty much.
So if it's routines, everybody does routines, or?
Well, that varies because a lot of the guys, there's 20 guys, we're all different. Right. You look at our squad, everyone works differently.
Right. Okay.
But they put the guys with the coaches that they're most suited to.
How do they determine that? Like,
there's actually, you do, I think it's called like a HumanX. like a personality test thing.
Right.
Maybe 100 questions.
Yeah.
Go through it.
Really?
And then it assigns you to like the best suited coach.
No way.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it works because like I got put with Dan and
Yeah.
great relationship we've got.
Dan was saying like he's enjoying being over it.
Yeah. First time in the UK.
What's it like having someone come with you back to the UK for a comp? That's pretty cool that much kind of thought goes into it. Like.
Well, Dan and I we've connected really well, and like I'm super happy that I've got him like looking after my career, but looking after me as well as a person.
Yeah.
And like 8 months we've developed like such a great relationship, and now I get to take him over here and like meet my family.
Yeah.
See where I went to school. I can drive him around, and then take him to my gym, get him to meet all my friends.
Yeah.
And it's like giving back to a lot that he's put into the relationship.
Because he was a gymnast himself.
Yep.
He
was at University of Illinois. Yeah.
Wow.
2-time NCAA pommel champion.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
wow.
they won a team national title when he was in the team as well.
Right. How did you guys do in this season? It's just been
Not too well in the. We finished 5th in the NCAAs.
Did Oklahoma win again?
No, Stanford won.
Oh.
Stanford.
Because I've tried to follow it now. I'm obviously got that connection with you. I tried to follow it.
Oklahoma were going for their 5th title.
Right.
In a row. So they.
Yeah, no, I remember it. It was a big shock, wasn't it?
And I remember I was stood in the State Farm Center in Champaign, and like it was head to head, the last 2 guys on each team. Like I can't remember. I think it was Yule on high bar, and then he fell, and then one of the Stanford guys in the rings like smashed it, and then Levi Anderson for Oklahoma, like same thing, smashed his routine, and it came down, and it's like Stanford took it home, and we were like, oh my god, like because their team's super young.
And so was there a lot of people watching that? Because some of the women's events, they're getting crazy crowds.
It's not as popular as the women's, though.
Yeah, same everywhere, isn't it? Men's gymnastics just ain't quite.
We went to national championships a couple weekends ago, the weekend before I left, in Kansas City.
Oh no, I saw a photo of you looking even more American than I've ever seen. Yeah.
I'll tell you about that. But it was like I can't remember the arena, but it was a huge, like 13,000 people easily, and the women sold it out every day.
Really?
Packed.
Simone is
big. Like
Simone is a star now. She's a star, man. Like you often see it on Sky Sports in the morning. Her name will pop up with a headline. Like
that's a bit. Do you find that a bit crazy? How
it is a bit mad.
Even though we can understand that women's gymnastics in America is so big, it's still a gymnast.
Yeah.
And like a gymnast is making headlines.
It's brilliant for everyone. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Because they're talking about her being maybe like the Usain Bolt of the next Olympics. You know what I mean? She's kind of flying that flag.
What, being the flag bearer?
No, as in she's going to be like the face of the next Olympic Games, which like it's amazing that a gymnast could potentially be that person. You know?
Yeah, and even though it's not our sport, if it's starting off there, starting off with women's, that's what we need.
So Hamish, you've been there 8 months now in the States. For you, what's been the biggest difference between, I'd say, training in the UK to training over there in that college setup?
Ooh.
Has it been a big adjustment for you?
Yeah, definitely. There's less hours in the NCAA program. Right, okay. Actually got like a restriction that rules everyone has to train the same amount of hours a week.
Right.
But really, it's just the fact that I've been doing university studies along with that.
Right.
It's very different from here. You know, like with my A-level, when I was doing my A-levels, I was coming home and doing it all on my own and then going to gym. But there's so much support in the NCAA, like time off classes and special dispensation for like athletes all the time. There's just tons of support, tons of help, and that really shocked me at first.
Right.
Because I mean, you've been through school as well while doing gym, and it's kind of you just have to do it on your own. But there's so much support that the NCAA give you. My university, tons of support.
So that's the biggest thing, probably, like the structure.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's really taken seriously. Like being a student athlete at university in America is a big thing. Big thing. There's 500 student athletes in my university in a 45,000 capacity like student body. So we're not a lot. There's not a lot of us, but it's a really big thing.
Yeah. And you started like halfway through the year already.
Yeah. So I started.
Because it was a quick turnaround. Like I can remember at the time when it was happening. But like, what is that process? Because for me, when I was younger, I didn't know it was a possibility for me to go out there and study. So like, what is that? How does that process work? For anyone that's kind of watching this and thinking, you know, I'd be interested in carrying on studying and then doing gymnastics as well.
Honestly, it's as easy as messaging someone on Instagram.
So just communication, basically.
And I did an interview with International Gymnastics magazine, and all I did was I was sat in your house.
Yeah.
I messaged my old coach Nick. He's good friends with Justin Springs, head coach at Illinois. And from there, it was just back and forth communication about getting this sorted. It's as easy as that, picking up the phone to someone.
And you got to take an exam, right?
Yeah, it's take an SAT.
Right.
Which is kind of like a basic, like GCSE level exam. But yeah, I had like 2 weeks to prepare for that, because that was the 1st of December was the last one before the new year, and the next one was in like halfway through January.
Right. Okay.
And if I'd have missed that, I wouldn't have been able to start in January.
So the time frame was just crazy tight.
Like for 18 hours a day, Mum and I were just doing constant work on the NCAA website, contacting Dan, Justin, SAT, getting my visa sorted.
It must have been like a whirlwind, like going from December to January and being there, studying in America, and then you've committed to the next, 4 years of your life being out there.
Yeah, I'd gone from, I'll just message Nick and see what this opportunity could be like.
Yeah.
And then he's gone, okay, I'll speak to Justin, and Justin said, like, we need to get this going. If you want to do it now, I was like, right, let's go.
And I was amazed as well how quickly you competed, like how quickly you would like join that setup, kind of not had much time to adjust, and then bang, you're out there on the floor doing the competition season. Yeah. What was your experience like of that first?
Well, that was wild.
Right.
So I got there on the Friday, and the boys then had their first season meet. Yeah. And I wasn't fit to do that. And then the next weekend we went to Chicago for the Windy City, and with the routines I'd been doing that week, I'd kind of made lineup.
Right.
I'd kind of like qualified into the 15-man team, but I wasn't actually going to compete. But they took me along for the experience.
Okay.
And that was really valuable, because Michigan, Minnesota, a lot of the other D1 teams, D1 college teams were there, and it was wild. It's ruthless. All the teams are like moving around on their own. The teams are so close,
right? And
all screaming for each other. And thankfully, I was there just to watch.
Yeah.
Because if I had to compete in that brand new environment, it's nothing like anything here.
Right.
It doesn't matter the size of the comp.
Yeah.
Like you've got 15 guys. It's the Olympic final.
Really.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun. It's quite intense.
That must be amazing, though. You must feel. Do you feel wiped out the next day? Not even just from the gymnastics, just from bringing so much energy, to supporting the guys on the team. Every weekend,
I lose my voice every weekend, because you've got to bring that energy for the boys.
Do you think that suits you more and your personality? Because you came back last week and you competed at the British teams in one of the World's trials. What was the comparison like? It must have been like poles apart there.
Yeah, when I went, it was tough at first to get into that role, because I'm not that loud really in competition.
Yeah.
But all the guys are.
Yeah.
And like we've got like a team that the parents come down from all over the country to support like our home meets.
Yeah.
And you've got to bring it. You've got to bring like that intensity, because it's 15 guys in a team. In the competition, then it's 5 at 5 count.
Right.
So.
And is it like that in training? Are you guys like that full on in training? Or?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
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 Absolutely, like
that must
borderline.
That's really different because obviously in the UK everyone's pretty quiet and chill.
No, that's actually took a bit of adjusting for me.
Right.
Because, you know, we've come up in an environment where it's like ultimate respect. Whilst the person's going.
Yeah.
And not that we're disrespectful to each other in the gym, but we're just very loud.
Yeah.
So when I was going up in like my first few weeks, doing a routine, and they're screaming, like just funny stuff, like about me being British or whatever.
Right. Okay.
It's like, guys, I'm trying to
concentrate, trying to get in the zone. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's 20 guys doing that, and when you work it out, when you can use that to your advantage, it's great, because 20 guys are behind you. You know, you're not on the high bar all on your own.
Yeah.
You've got your boys, your brothers behind you, pushing you all the way.
That team is always a priority.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest. I'd say that's the biggest difference. I mean, we do have, like, you were competing in the club championships. We have like good teams now, but that's never really the main focus. That's just one competition of the year. Normally, you're out there representing yourself.
Yeah, and like I said, it's the team is the first priority. You can't do anything that will be of detriment to the team.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to make lineup, then you've got to work on that, whatever piece it is, to a point where you are now the top 5 guy in the team on that piece.
Right. Okay.
If you're top 6, like, they're not going to. We've got a huge number system that calculates all the scores and stuff. Right. And every week, like, it produces the best team for that week. And if you've not made it, then the stats will say, you know, that we are better off with these guys. Okay. But that's good because it pushes everyone to try and make that team. If you're the 6th guy, it's like, I want to get in that lineup. I want to compete. Yeah. That's only going to force the guys in the top 5 to remain above you, and it just keeps pushing guys up. If a guy drops out, then that space is filled up. So it's a really good system. But at first, it was tough to have to think about the team before me. Right. Okay. Yeah. Because, well, you know yourself, you go through your whole career basically thinking about number 1. Yeah, of course. Yeah. You have to. It has to be like that. Yeah. But with NCAA, with college gymnastics, the team is the priority. Yeah. So you have to sacrifice at times your personal endeavours to make sure the team's okay. And
I'm sure that you then individually do better as a result of that. I always felt that myself. Like when I competed as a team, and the team goal came first. Individually, you always find that you do better.
It's a way more sustainable.
It's so much more enjoyable when you get a result with a team, and you feel part of something. It's really exciting.
If you see on YouTube, like I remember watching videos of guys winning what I now know to be like a Big Ten team title. Yeah. And they're going crazy. Yeah. And it's like, is it really that big?
Yeah, no.
Is that really that big of an achievement?
That much once
but now I'm here, I understand all those hours you put in the gym with 20 guys. Yeah. You know, doing those routines when you can't even lift your arm up to present. Yeah. You got rips in your hand, everyone's injured, like taping each other. Physio's just taping us up just so we can get a routine out. And then you get to that point and you do succeed with that team. It's a really special feeling. Yeah. Okay, imagine
it. Yeah.
Well, like it for you at London.
Yeah, London for me was
that must have
similar.
been.
Yeah, it was just because it's that for me now. Even when I spend time with those guys, we've always got that connection that we're always going to have. When we see each other, it's like only those 5 guys will ever really know what that was like. So it is a special thing for sure.
Yeah, that's what it's like. That's what college gymnastics is like.
Where did your team come in the last season?
We came 2nd at Big Tens. Right. Just missed out on defending our title, and that was in Iowa. We competed, and then NCs became 5th. Okay. Didn't have the best meet. It's over 2 days.
And what's the target for next? Are you in a building phase? You're like building the team again?
Yeah. So summer it's like new skills, lock in some big sets over this time when you don't really need to have like your routines ready. Right. Okay. Like maybe 1 or 2 skills in combination, and then once I get back, I'll be starting the fall semester. I haven't done one of those yet. I came in the spring, which is our season. Right, okay. But the fall is like the slog,
when you just
get lots of hours, the weights 3 times a week at 6 o'clock in the morning. Homework's like ramping up. Yeah. Lots of training. So I'm excited for that. Yeah. but that's like the boys say it's like that's the hardest semester.
Okay. And what's the target as a team next year? Do you know that yet? Is that something you've talked about?
Well, personally, I can say that we should be winning Big Tens again.
Okay.
I'd like to think we can get to a point where we're doing that, but we're actually out a few guys.
Right. Okay. Through injuries.
Yeah.
Or people finishing
some really top guys of ours.
Right.
And
Okay.
it's going to be tough to get back.
Right.
Into that position, but look, all we can ask is we do everything we can as a team every day. You know, every week, every weekend we compete to make sure that we're doing all we can. That's all we can ask, because when there's 20 guys all doing the same thing, you can really push your boundaries. And if we do that, then that's all we can ask for.
And how are you finding it balancing, like, still being because you still compete for GB? So how are you finding balancing the NCAA stuff in Illinois with still trying to pursue your individual dreams? So what have you got? You've got the London Open this weekend that you're going to be competing in. That's a world's trial. So what are your targets for this weekend? And then going into next year, obviously next year's Olympic year. This is your first time round where you're really in the mix.
Yeah.
What's your focus? What are your goals? What are your targets? Have you sat down with your coach? Dan's come with you over to England. How does that work? How does that setup work with him?
So when I came in January, I mentioned to Dan, look, there's 2 meets in the UK, British teams and London Open.
Yeah.
And we were planning that like on the side all throughout all the year. But season was the main priority at the time. So upgrading my routines throughout season for the benefit of the team. And then once that finished, it was in April, we basically sat down the day after and just like 2 or 3 hours planned out how we're going to go forward over the summer so I can prepare for these 2 meets.
Yeah.
So it actually worked out quite well, because a lot of the preparation from season I could carry forward into summer.
Yeah.
I've done lots of routines, I've done hundreds of routines.
Yeah.
So I could add like I call it like a latent fitness. So I could then start putting new skills in and I was still fit.
Right.
And it worked out really well. Dan's really good, really strategical, really good at planning, which is something I feel as a gymnast suits me really well.
Right, okay, yeah.
I take like a bit longer to get into a groove, like maybe 10 weeks out of a meet. And he's really good at that.
So everything's really well planned, well thought out.
Yeah, pretty much to every go. Like every go, every piece, every day, every week, it's planned.
That's
we
brilliant.
sit down.
And so the target this weekend is?
Target this weekend, I want to break into 80.
Okay.
But really just have a clean comp, do all 6.
It's going to be an exciting comp, man. Like it's kind of all to play for.
Yep,
I guess, really.
definitely.
It's kind of open. It is very open. So I'm going out to watch. It'll be exciting for me to watch. And then once you've got this weekend out of the way, next year a big target for you?
Yeah. The season 2020 season will actually prepare me really well for whatever I need to do pre-Olympics. I'll have a lot of routines under my belt going into April, you know, that sort of time period where I'm going to focus on the GB commitments. So next year, definitely big target, and Dan and I are planning it every day, every week.
Yeah.
You know, on the side, it's like that plan's running concurrently to my plan with the NCAA season, because they kind of help each other. You know, if I'm doing my best for the team and I'm pushing myself, not only is that taking care of the team scores and helping put them in a better position, us, it's also taking care of like that avenue that I want to pursue after that season's finished. So it actually works out. I thought it'd be pretty hard to like organise, but it works out pretty well.
It seems like you've got a good plan, mate, to be honest. It's great to catch up, man. I'm going to wish you all the best. I'm going to watch you on Saturday at the competition.
That'll be good.
But mate, thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate it.
Cheers, bro.
Take care, yeah.
Thank you.